Hello, hello, hello. My name is Tammy Stevens, and I am a notary public in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm also the owner of TRS Support Services, which is our DBA for Motary Notary Fingerprinting and more. We have an office at 2850 Ashley Phosphate Road in North Charleston, South Carolina 29418. We're located on the second floor inside of the Kalikas Law Firm. This is where I conduct live scan, ink fingerprinting, and notary services of all kinds. It is my pleasure to bring to you this course or guide um, of the service that I provide in my business is how to complete an I-9 verification form. With this, you'll be able to market to your other perspectives as an added service. All right. Again, you guys, my name is Tammy Stevens, Tammy R. Stevens, speaker and presenter. I'd like you to follow me on social media, my TikTok and my YouTube. So I'm so excited for you guys because this is a great service to offer to your clients. The object of this training is so that you, as a notary, can add this as a caveat to work with other businesses that have employees that have to start their new jobs. This is a must have for all employers that have new employees starting new jobs. Employers don't always use notaries for this service as well, but 9 times out of 10, they will use a notary public because they know that we are state commission and true to making sure that identification is represented and identified properly. Now, there are actually no notarizations that happen with the I-9 verification process. So it's really strange that they do ask notaries to do this. They ask us, like I said, because of the ethicity that goes along with being a notary. Because as a state commission notary, we are expected to uphold the law and to help prevent fraud of any kind. So, employers may designate an authorized representative to fill out I-9 forms on behalf of their company, including personnel, officers, other people that can do this, like foremen, agents, again, notary publics. Now, the Department of Homeland Security does not require the authorized representatives to have specific agreements or other documentation for forms of I-9 for other purposes. If an authorized representative fills out a Form I-9 on behalf of their employer, the employer is still liable for any violations in connection with the form or the verification process. It is actually their job once you help to prevent the fraud and make sure that you fill out that documentation. It is actually their responsibility to make sure that you filled it out correctly. Once that form is completed, they'll take a look at it for that employee and they'll say whether it's good or not. If there are things on there that have not been filled out or done properly, they will let you know. At that time, you will make those corrections. So our agenda is really quick. It's not a long process. This is basically like a guide. I really hesitated to call it a course because basically it's not hard at all. This is something I believe that you guys are going to really be happy with to add to your business. Now, filling in the employee section one, we'll talk about that briefly. Finishing the form and presenting the documentation. Then we're going to talk about filling out the employer section, section two, in which we are responsible for doing, and that's what they're hiring us to do. Completing section three for rehiring or verification. reviewing the reference links for your research, and we will close with any questions. So enjoy this presentation, course, or guide. Remote I-9 verification. Again, I ask that you hold all of your questions at the end of the presentation because I believe that any and everything that you have questions about will be covered in this presentation. All right, part one, filling in employee section. Now, you are not responsible for that. The employee needs to fill that out. 9 times out of 10, when an employee comes to me to get their I-9 verification filled out, they have already done section one. Most employers send that to them electronically. They'll print that out and bring it to you, and you are the ones that's just going to make sure that section two is filled out with your signature, the date, and the verification of the employee's identification. So the first part that the employee will be filling out is going to be filling in their full legal name, first, middle, and last. You'll notice that some employees have longer names than others. And sometimes we have employees that have like um 4 names as opposed to 3 names. First, middle, last. It'd be like first, middle, and there's 2 last names. You'll get used to that as well. Address and birth date, making sure that they know to fill that information in into its entirety. Their legal status, whether they are a United States citizen and or an immigrant working in the state on a residence pass or for just work. And then add the social security number. If they do not have a social security number, they will have the proper documentation, the permanent resident employee number, and or just the work permit numbers. They'll have that and they'll indicate that on that identification that they present to you. So part two, finishing the form and presenting documentation. So just to let you know, with the section one of the I-9 verification, you are looking to make sure that all of those boxes are filled out properly for that employee. Okay. Making sure that they sign and they date it because that's important. Without the signature, it is not any good. We're going to complete the I-9 on the first day of their work. Sometimes employees work, but they're not supposed to work more than 3 days without completing the I-9 verification. But that is not your responsibility. That is the employer to reach out to you to make sure that they coordinate this process to get completed with the employee. If not, it leads to heavy fines for the company. So now the employee that comes to you will be presenting documentation to you. They have to pick something from list A or 2 forms of ID, one from list B and another one from list C. So either one form of ID, like a passport. I always tell everyone the passport trumps all. That's the one and done. Okay. Then in the, if they don't have the passport or a permanent resident ID or a foreign passport or something, they have the option to present 2 other forms of ID, but only one form from list B and one form from list C. And I have included a form, I-9 verification form, so that you can review that with this presentation. You'll just have a download that you can use, and you can also copy that to use in your business. So, filling in section 2 for the employer or authorized representative section. So, what we do as notary publics or authorized representatives, remember, we check the first section. Only authorized representatives should be doing that if it's not the employer. Then we're going to the authorized representative will examine the documents, will make sure that they are true copies. It has to either be an original or it has to be a certified copy. Let's say they show you their birth certificate. It has to be either the true original or a certified copy. It cannot be a photocopy or a Xerox copy of that documentation. They have to have the official documentation presented to you. Cannot be a copy of a Social Security card. It must be the Social Security card. Then you're going to fill in the employee's information. You do not allow them to do it. You will be doing that. You'll be filling in this information to verify all of the necessary information, which is the type of ID, their ID name, where it was issued, where it expires, and anything else, dates or something like that. Okay. Add the date and the employee will be beginning work. Most of the times they're going to be coming to you before they actually start work. Sometimes they're going to come to you within that 3 days. So what if they come to you and they've already started work, make sure to ask them what was the very first date that they actually worked for the employer. 9 times out of 10, the employer will be making sure that they give you that information. So you're going to be filling in the employee section. Follow all of the directions where it is their first and last name. You're gonna print your name. You're gonna sign your name, and the address you're going to put the employer's address, and they will be giving you that information. See, it's not that hard. Actually it's easier than expected. It's so easy that you don't think that it's real. So then you're going to give that documentation back to the employee or the employer. The employers usually want us to scan the copy and email it to them so that they have that information in real time. And then that's it. You're pretty much finished. Honey, I want to say big results requires big ambition. Adding this as a service to your business will help to bring in additional revenue. Most things are as easy as they seem. Life doesn't have to be that hard. Extra learning opportunities. So I know that they make it sound so scary, like this is something that can't be done, but you see how easy it was. It's almost as easy as 1, 2, and 3. So, marketing this skill so that your business can grow and that you can get new clients to your establishment, whether you're a mobile notary or a notary that has an office. Offer this as a new service to other businesses with employees. I market to businesses. I do my best to market to HR departments and various type of businesses. It doesn't matter what the business is. Every business has an HR department and they are always hiring. So there is plenty of opportunity for this. Then you're going to add new cash flow to your business. Doesn't that sound well? I know a lot of people are asking, well, what do you charge for this? And I would say that you have to determine what you would charge. What is your time worth? I have charged very reasonably in the past because I do quite a few of them. And if you get a contract with a company and you're doing lots of employees, you don't want to be greedy. You want to price it at a reasonable fee where they will continue to come to you. And I would say that this service is between uh, 25 to $50 per I-9 verification. You decide. So now that you know this skill to add to your business, the only thing left to do is to wash, rinse, and repeat. Market to businesses. Um, Also, just mark it on your Google My Business page or your website because employers from other states that hire employees remotely actually need this service. I get a big request for out of town employers. So, completing Section 3 for the rehiring is nothing more than getting the information that is required from the employer. More than likely, you're not going to be bothered with the rehire section. But when you do, if they rehire an employee within 3 years of them leaving or the employee changed their name, you can complete Section 3 only for re-verification now. The only exception is you must fill in the employee's name in the employer section. And that's it. It's as easy as 1, 2, and 3. The employer will give you special instructions if this needs to be filled out. Other than that, do not worry about Section 3. Completing Section 3 for re-verification. Re-verify when an employee's documentation expires. When you fill in the form the first time, know when the employee's documentation expires. You really won't know that until the employer tells you. You'll need to re-verify it when it does. You won't need to do this for U.S. citizens or non-citizen nationals. But, like I said before, the employer will let you know when this needs to be filled out. Examine the original I-9 for rehires. So, 9 times out of 10, I say that a lot, I guess, the employers will have that information. They're going to check to see if the documentation has expired. You will get instructions regarding this if it has been examined, either a List A or List C documentation. You don't need to look at the List B. Okay? So, congratulations. You guys are officially guided and trained on how to fill in the I-9 verification form. You are ready to start making money with this new skill as an added service to your business. So, my name is Tammy I want to thank you for trusting me to help you guys. If you have any other questions or just like to discuss this training with me, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. So, my company again is TRS Support Services. I run it as Motary Notary Fingerprinting, and more. Building a better future together, you guys. We are working as a team to grow. So please add yourself to my mailing list for upcoming true guides and training.